My husband and I went to this really expensive, fancy restaurant for our anniversary. You know the type, the kind where the waiter describes every dish like it's a piece of fine art. The portions are small enough to make you cry. And the menu doesn't even have prices because if you have to ask, you shouldn't be there. No, I consider myself a cheese enthusiast. No, scratch that I'm passionate about cheese. My dream is to visit a cheese cave in France and just live there. So when I saw they had a cheese course, I was hyped. I imagined a glorious spread of rich, aged cheeses, perfect pairings, a whole experience. But then, the waiter brings out 3 tiny slices of something that looked like hotel soap samples, a single sad-looking cracker, and a microscopic smear of some fancy fruit paste. I thought it was a joke. I looked at my husband, expecting him to laugh, but he was just nodding along like this was normal. I couldn't let this stand. So I casually reached into my purse and pulled out my emergency cheese wedge. Yes, I carry one. Don't judge me. The second I started slicing it, my husband's face went ghost white. The waiter actually stopped mid-step, and I swear I heard gasps from a nearby table. My husband whispered, "What are you doing?" Like I had just pulled out a live snake. I, however, was unbothered and continued enjoying my superior cheese. That's when the manager came over and very politely told me that I wasn't allowed to bring in outside food. I argued that it wasn't just food. It was an enhancement to their subpar selection. My husband was practically melting into his chair from embarrassment, so I reluctantly put my cheese away. But then get this, when we went to pay, they banned me from returning. Now my husband is mad, saying I humiliated him and that it was inappropriate to whip out my own cheese in a high-end restaurant. But like, they should be ashamed of themselves for serving that nonsense and calling it a cheese course. For refusing to accept their pathetic excuse for cheese and bringing my own. Or should they be ashamed for their dairy crimes?